Aversa is a town in the province of Caserta, Campania, Italy, with ancient roots dating back to the 6th century AD. It was revived in Roman age and again in the Middle Ages by the Benedictine abbey. Aversa, which has about 50,000 inhabitants, features a few attractions, including cathedral and 13th century castle. The town is famous for its culinary traditions.
L'Arco dell'Annunziata, situated in Aversa, is an important urban element which has a high historical and architectural value. From an architectural point of view, this arc acts as a join between different parts of the city, contributing to define the structure of the city.
Principle 1. Elements of connection and transition. Structures of this kind sign the entrance to places of particular importance in medieval cities. Principle 2. Space organization. The arch affects the movement inside the city, guiding pedestrians' paths by creating a visual and spatial filter. Principle 3. Identity and urban landmark. The arch is widely known point of reference for the inhabitants and the visitors of the town. It strengthens the identity and recognizability of Aversa.
The name of Aversa derives from the ancient village of Verzus, but the history of Aversa begins in 1030 with the arrival of the Normans, to whom the territory was granted by Duke Sergio IV, Count of Naples, for the help given in the war against Pandolfo IV, Longobarд Prince of Capua. Their leader, Rendulfo d'Ergot, surrounded the walls and founded a courtesy for the first Norman country in Italy. During the 14th century, Aversa became the seat of the Angevin court in the Angevin castle. On 17 September 1345, Andrea of Hungary was strangled, and 3 years later Ludovico of Hungary invited to a banquet those who killed his brother and in revenge killed them.
Aversa grew because of its important location, attracting people and businesses, becoming a bigger and more modern city. New roads and services improved links to Naples and Caserta, making traveling easier by train and subway. New schools, hospitals, and homes improved life in Aversa, with better transport and services.
Aversa subway station opened in 2009 and is part of the Naples-Aversa subway line. The station has a modern design, elevators and escalator to help the passengers. The subway connects Aversa to Naples, reducing the traffic and making traveling easier. The station is in a good location near trains and buses, helping the city grow.
Aversa's train station was built in 1867 and modernized in 1928. Trains from Naples to Rome need it. There are over 7 tracks at this station, designed mostly for local passengers. Recent enhancements include elevators, better signage, and facilities for all. Buses and taxis connect with it, which enables quick and easy movement of people for urban energy.
Aversa Main Street also lie on radial city plane, which street open from the center and toward the peripheral location that combine mobility and connectivity. The plane has its origin in medieval time, which an early period of the city having been patterned after a country-yard layout and a stress radiate out.
Some of most significant city streets are Via Roma and Viale della Libertà, and typify the city tissue between city and its urbane gates. Railway station and highway to Caserta, Naples, conditioning the urban growth and livabilities.
The Arco dell'Annunziata, also known as Porta Napoli, is one of the most representative symbols of Aversa. Its history is strictly linked to the Complesso della Real Casa dell'Annunziata, dedicated to the assistance of orphans, sick people, and young women who are close to their marriage. The main entrance of the building is characterized by an arch made out of marble, dating back to 1518, probably commissioned by the Mormilla family, like written on the side of the arch. The structure is decorated with reliefs, depicting characters and symbolic scenes. In 1477, a bell tower was erected, which collapsed in 1667 due to lightning. Afterwards, in 1712, the construction of the current bell tower started. In 1777, Giacomo Gentile, an architect from Aversa, completed the structure with the construction of the arch and its clock, realized with the same material and style of the bell tower.
Shooting begins around 1230, when Aversa just blew out its 200 candles. The Archbishop Giovanni Lamberto decided to build a small complex behind the Campania River. At first, the church was dedicated to St. Francis, even though it soon began to be frequented by the poor clan nuns. Over the next 600 years, the complex grew disproportionately, and each element was either added by a noble family or restructured, creating a layering to be admired in every single detail. If we look closely, we can notice that part of the complex is painted in white, while the other part is covered in frescoes that are almost cut in half. But why is that? Well, this happened because in World War II, Americans transformed the complex in a field hospital. The stretchers were placed near the wall, causing the paint to wear away. Let's now move on to the architecture. The complex is made up of 3 different monuments: a tall, slender bell tower that gives the whole complex a sense of height and grace, a majestic yet simple church, and an adjoining convent surrounded by a peaceful little square. The church has a charmingly simple Gothic style. In the garden, nestled among the trees and the plants, there is a statue of St. Francis of Assisi, a beautiful symbol of Franciscan spirituality that captures the saint's humility and devotion. The entrance portal stands out for its tall, pointed arch, which is a classic Gothic touch. Its clean and straightforward design excludes an elegant yet humble feel, with sculpted decoration above the portal and niches, on each side holding the sword of saints, adding just the right amount of detail without overdoing it. Despite the exterior being simple, the inside is majestic. As soon as you step inside, you're greeted by the soft light filtering through the elegant Gothic arches. The interior is the example of sobriety and simplicity, typical of the Franciscan style. The church features a single nave layout without a transept, creating a simple and direct space where every element is designed to facilitate meditation. Along the side walls, there are altars dedicated to the various saints, adding a devotional aspect to the structure. The interior is adorned with frescoes and artworks. The most important frescoes, there are those that depict the life of the saint and the Madonna with her child. In the paintings that represent St. Francis, the founder of the Franciscan order is a central figure. His images are often linked to the key moments in his life, such as his renunciation of material goods before his father, symbolizing his detachment from the world and dedication to God. While in the frescoes that depict the Madonna and Child, often found in medieval and Franciscan churches, the Virgin is seen as a loving mother and protector of the friars and the faithful, depicted with the infant Jesus who symbolize purity and salvation. These paintings are not only important from a religious perspective, but also for their historical and artistic value, as they reflect the evolution of painting techniques during the medieval and Renaissance periods.
Mary at Piazza is the most ancient church in Aversa. It was founded during the Norman era and it has gone through several modifications since then. In 1349, an earthquake damaged the building, so more restorations were done. Again, during the Baroque period, some elements were modified, such as the ceiling. Originally, the church only had a nave. Later on, 2 aisles were added. In 1807, the church was abandoned and then reopened to the public 8 years later. During the World Wars, the building was used as a hay storage, just to go back to being a place of prayer after the wars. As for the exterior, the church has a tough facade and 3 ogival portals in Gothic style. On the right, there's a bell tower embedded in the structure, though it was never completed. The exterior of the nave and aisles has a peculiar shape. This probably dates back to the Romanesque period, unlike the Gothic portals. From this, in fact, we can determine the several renovations done over the centuries. Inside the church, as we said before, there is a nave and 2 aisles. In the past, there were the columns, but since they didn't resist over time, they have been replaced by the pillars. These are made of tough as are the nave and aisles. The upper walls were probably frescoed, but then they were covered with white plaster. The ceiling is of wood, though it isn't original. Some light comes from the rose window, but it also comes from the numerous ogival windows of the Gothic period that let the light pass through, and this gives a nice visual effect. Many frescoes in the church were lost because they were covered with white plaster, but some have been rediscovered thanks to recent restorations, and we can deduce they were in Giotto style. Another very important element is a set of symbols that we don't know the meaning of. The most accredited interpretation is Stelio Calabresi's, who believes it says, Jesus, Son of the Father, created the earth and the sky. However, there is no clear evidence that this is its true meaning.
The Aversa Asylum, History and Evolution. From the origins to the 19th century, 1519 and 1876, the first facility for the mentally ill in the Kingdom of Naples was the Pazzeria dell'Ospedale degli Incurabili, 1519. In the 1813, by decree of Gioacchino Murat, the first modern asylum. The real case de Matti was founded in Aversa in a former convent of the Maddalena. The facility expanded with the addition of buildings for men and women. The first direction, Giovanni Maria Linguiti, introduced the moral scale, eliminating chains and torture in favor of a more human environment with gardens and therapeutic theater. However, with the direction Giuseppe Simoneschi, 1831 and 1856, the asylum became more pastoral. Recreational spaces were demolished and sections for various pathologies were created. The 1860, with the unification of Italy, it took the name of Reale Manicomio di Aversa.
Maddalena complex in Aversa originated in 1216 as a leprosy hospital funded by King Charles I of Anjou. Managed by the Knights Hospitaller, it later became a convent run by the Friars Minor. In 1813, King Joachim Murat converted it into a psychiatric hospital, the Reale Case de Matti, as part of broader reforms. Over the years, the structure underwent various transformations aimed at improving patient care, hygiene and daily life, including workspaces, recreational areas and grid zones. Major expansions and renovations occurred throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, shifting from a monolithic asylum to a pavilion-style system with specialized wards.
During the World War II, the complex was damaged and partially requisitioned by Allied forces. Post-war renovation took place, but the hospital gradually declined, especially after psychiatric reform laws in the 1970s led to its closure in 1999. Today, the site is largely abandoned, although plans for restoration are under discussion by local authorities and the University of Campania.
Entering the force 45 years ago, on 13 May 1978, the Basaglia law sanctioned the closure of mental asylums, reforming the system of treatment for mental distress and marking a turning point in the world of assistance for psychiatric patients. The former Santa Maria Maddalena Psychiatric Hospital in Aversa is today in a state of abandonment with deteriorating buildings. However, initiatives are underway to recover the structure, including a project to digitalize historical medical records and enhance the area. A future use of the area is envisaged as a multifunctional complex, which will include green spaces and cultural activities, with the intention of transforming it into a university center according to the General Master Plan.
Parco Pozzi is the largest public green space in Aversa, located in the heart of the city, occupying an area of approximately 22,000 square meters. It offers a variety of services and facilities for different age groups.
Parco Pozzi is a historical and cultural gem that has evolved over the years into a central point of community life.
During World War II, Parco Pozzi played an important role as a refuge for local population. Due to bombing that affected many Italian cities, the park became one of the places where residents sought shelter. The green area, which today is a symbol of leisure, served as a place of safety and protection during the war. Moreover, the surrounding area suffered various damages during the war, but the park remained significant as a meeting point and a source of support for community living under the constant threat of conflict. After the war ended, Parco Pozzi was gradually restored, regaining its role as the city's green lung and a gathering place for everyone. Our beautiful park is a space designed to cater to the needs of everyone. For those who love to stay active, we have pedestrian paths perfect for jogging or walking. Families with children will appreciate our play areas where kids can enjoy safe and fun activities. For our older visitors, we offer a bowling green with 2 covered courts, providing a social and enjoyable spot to meet. Sport enthusiasts can make use of the basketball court, a great place for competitive games. Additionally, our outdoor fitness equipment, with instructors designed for gymnasts and stretching, offer a unique way to stay fit in nature. Whether you're here to relax, play, or stay active, this park truly has something for everyone.